Question, when you had the circle with the four sections, and you said that, marketing, you still have a long way to go. All the passion you have about the product being different, this being different, do you have any plans at Open Skies to do distribution any differently?
We of course we do. We're doing a lot of stuff. Currently, I think we have 60% of it comes direct online. So we do a fair amount of business online. I think we can do much better. I know we can do much better. I know we can create a level of brand awareness that's much better. I think when we got our start out of the track last June 19th, I think, in an attempt to be unconventional, I think we were just unconventional around the edges. I think when we really looked at ourselves in the mirror, we just moved. We didn't really change things as much as we should have. We sort of came to that realization, and I think with the acquisition of Lavion, that sense of entrepreneurship and the fact that they were pretty successful in the digital environment. So we were comparing the best practices from both. We've got a long way to go there, and I think on the one hand it's a little I'm disappointed personally, but on the other hand it gives rise for a lot of optimism because there's a lot of upside there. And I still go back to this notion that when people find out it's there, they're going to ask themselves, why would I do anything else?
But you have a lot of people that need to find that out, right?
Well, it's not necessarily a lot of people. Airplanes will have between 72 and 82 seats on the airplane. So these are not big airplanes, but they are zeroed in on very tight segments. It's the business traveler and the premium leisure traveler. And it's an experience. 2x2 seating going across the Atlantic. It's a pretty neat experience.
When you said that you were talking about your business plans that you set up 5 years ago, and I think 5 years ago nobody had expected probably these troubles that we are currently seeing in the industry. How do you, or what do you see in your business model currently? What is the impact there of the downturn of the industry, and what is the impact? Probably you can share some secrets with us. What is the impact on your load factors there?
Can you keep a secret?
Of course I can.
So can I. I can give you some glimpse on that. The good news for us is over the past 5 weeks, our bookings have dramatically gone up. In the case of Paris, New York, currently, we have just more than 10% market share of the total market between Paris and New York with just 3 little airplanes. The market was down 33% in January, 35% in February. We were up 10 and 12% respectively. Something's happening. Load factors are moving up nicely. The forward bookings for April, May, and early June are good. But we micromanage this. This is not something you're looking at on a monthly basis or even a weekly basis. We're micromanaging it. We slice it a couple of times a day. Revenue is, we need all we can get. Load factors are growing, and they're pretty handsome in both cabins. So it's inappropriate for me to give what they are, especially as I'm a subsidiary of a bigger company.
Okay, that means you see a different trend than.
See, I think in some ways, we're a counter brand because people still have to travel between those points A and point B and point
probably
C.
less people have to travel.
Less people have to travel. That plays to us because we don't have bigger airplanes. And two, the people who are traveling are going to be the same road warriors that have been there before, and now they can do it for less and get a better product. So, and that would not be as accentuated, say, 2 or 3 years ago when there was a high tide and green grass. So, does that mean that I prayed for this crisis? No. Hell no. If anybody else in this room prayed for that crisis, please speak to me later. No, we didn't do that. But it is to say, look at the world as it is, not as the way we would have wanted it to be or the way it was, and say, do we apply? Now, if we don't make sense in this environment, we should fold our tent up and get out. But to be truthful, our business plan, I think we put together about 20 months ago. didn't call for an environment like this, but no one's business plan did. But when we think about it more and more, I think because we've got limited capacity, we've got a really good product, we've got a low-cost base, and we've got people who are in the business, who, 200 people who really want this thing to work. And it's different, because when you only have 200 people, everybody knows you can't have a bad day. When you have 40,000 people, you can hide.